Hi, I'm Kristen Rosenberg. I'm a holistic health intuitive and strategist, and I'm here today to bring you the Angel and Oracle reading for June 2025. And this month, we have Archangel Azrael coming through, and he came through a couple months ago. When Archangel Azrael comes through, I feel like there's usually a heavy message, something with some gravitas that he's really serious. He's a wonderful angel. You know, full of peace and comfort, but also a serious message. So, Archangel Azrael is the angel of God, and he does bring peace and comfort for people who are going through a transition, a death of some kind, or change. And that's kind of what's happening now on the planet. Collectively, and it may be happening personally for you. I know a lot of people who are going through things, and myself as well, where there's a lot of change and things shifting. So it's the perfect angel to come through this month. And I thought I'd do something a little different this month. I just pulled a card to see if there were any other messages that were um, wanting to come through from Archangel Azrael. And I used Colette Baron Reed's deck, the Wisdom of Avalon, and I got the Raven. So I don't know if you can see that, the Raven. Um, the Raven is about magic, coincidence, and synchronistic events. And the message, part of what stood out to me from the message is, if you feel hopeless or lost, you may need reminding that this kind of magic, that magic occurs in life daily. Even if you can't see it, trust it to bring joy, understanding, and fulfillment to your life, no matter what the present circumstances appear to be. It says, believe in magic and you cannot help but see it. Magic lives within the belief itself. Expect the unexpected and prepare to be amazed. Sorry. Um, so I really like this message because there is a lot of work that we've been having to do for many months now. But even though this message is serious in terms of what the angels want us to do, I feel like they also want us to know that the angels are here for us. Archangel Azrael is here for us, and that there is magic and synchronistic events that the divine is working for us, and to remember that even in the midst of all this shifting and change that can feel confusing and you can feel lost, remember that the angels and the divine are here. So reach out to them to ask for help, and watch for the magic. Watch for the magic of the synchronistic events and changes around you, because change can be good too, even though it can be uncomfortable and a little scary. So I thought that was a wonderful message, and let's get started with the message that I received from Archangel Azrael. So as I was hearing what was coming through, Azrael is saying, we are in the midst of a transition, and it may feel like nowhere, like we're floating in the in-between. And that's when this picture came to me, and I put it on the slide here, of this astronaut. I did not look like it was kind of me floating, but that's what I felt like, that we're just in this void. And what I'm equating this void to is just being like in space, just kind of floating, not knowing where to go, not knowing exactly where to be or what direction to go in to move forward. So just kind of there, and it's a little frustrating, confusing, because we're not sure what's next, and we don't have the certainty of what's going to happen next. So what Archangel Azrael says is, it may be a little unsettling, but relax into it. It is the unknown, and that's okay. It's not to be feared. So relax, breathe, and know in your heart that you're a part of this divine construction. And that was the word construction. So I feel like we are kind of rebuilding what's happening here on earth and in our lives. And he continues to say, things are changing, so let go. Gripping, grasping, and controlling will make it harder. All changes, even difficult ones, are unfolding with great love for everyone. There is love even in the difficult lessons. There is only love. So I really like that message. It's all happening for us, even though it can be difficult. And sometimes what he was showing me too through this vision is that there seems to be a nothingness or confusion, or a sense of unease before we can make leaps forward. So this is that time of waiting, kind of being in the in-between. And he goes on to say, in order to move through these changes with more ease, you must really look at your heart, the intentions of your heart, with open eyes and with honesty. This has been a message in the past, but it is the focal point at this time. It's the only thing that matters. Silence the mind, be in the heart, and if you find that there is disorder or clutter in your heart, it's time to clean it up. Fear, division, isolation, separation, judgment, resentment, anger, blame, shame, feelings of unworthiness, addiction, aggression, guilt, and more, all of these things must be cleaned out, he says. It may be that there are a lot of these things present for you, but that's okay. Acknowledge them one by one and release them. Everyone in the world experiences these negative emotions and feelings, and that's part of being human. But it's when we invite them to stay with us and they become a part of us that's where the problem lies. And Azrael says, you were never intended to take on these negative aspects, as you come from source and light that can only be love. So I kind of asked, well, what now? What more do we need to know? And he said, the turmoil you experience globally and personally is part of the shifting that's going on. And it's part of shifting the vibration of yourself and the world. So it's many times in these periods of shifting that awareness and evaluation of how one is living comes forward. If that's been happening, continue the inner work. And if this is new for you, this shifting and changing, come back to your heart, clean out the muck of negativity, and move forward in gratitude, joy, and love for this breath, this life, and the next step, and the promise that faith and trust in the universe will bring. So that's a really positive message. It's just that these changes are happening for us. And it's shifting and changing so that the world can evolve, and that our lives can evolve in a positive way, and that the earth can evolve in a positive way. So very interesting. And I know we're talking about releasing negativity again, and I felt led to just add here that because people are asking me, well, how do I go about releasing this negativity? And that can be really difficult, especially when we're really caught up in it. So I just wanted to let you guys know here that I work in a technique called Freedom Process. So if you're interested in that, let me know. It's a somatic breathwork technique. It's amazing, and it just allows you to create more space in your body and in your life. So all that emotional negativity, beliefs, and patterns, it gets stuck in our body, and it's like toxic energy and toxic emotions that get stuck. So the freedom process is about locating those areas and loosening that toxicity, that energy up, so that it can be released. Because sometimes meditation is wonderful, and that can help too. But sometimes it may not be enough to really get at those emotions and to have an intentionality about getting to those negative aspects of ourselves or energies that we want to release. So for me, I've been using it for about a year now, and it's been amazing. It's just created so much space in my body. I'm less reactive when it comes to conflict. And there's more calm, more peace in my life. It's been a real game changer. And there's just more freedom for me. I'm not beholden to these like negative things or um, programming that was in my mind that I when something would happen, I'd have like an argument with my husband or something that I would attach to the stories of what was coming up, like an old belief or a childhood wound or something. Like I'm able to step outside of that and give it a little space and be able to work with it instead of just reacting to it. So I just wanted to put that in there because people have been asking me, like, how do I get rid of these things? How do I clean myself out? So it's called Freedom Process. And if you're interested in working with me on that, I can give you information about it and just chat with you about what it entails. Send me an email at Kristen, Kristen, at inspiretruewellness.com. And I can talk to you about that. But back to the vision part of things. So I'm out in this space and void. I'm just kind of floating around. And then I see Archangel Azrael showing me an invisible grid that he stretches. Like I can see the lines of the grid, just blurry lines. Like I know it's there, but it's invisible. And he stretches this grid and places it over the solar system. And what he says is, Earth must fall in line with this energetic grid that is of divine making. And so there must be shifts to allow those frequencies of Earth to align with this energetic blueprint. All of you are a part of this shift that will raise the frequency of Earth and your lives as part of this cosmic sacred geometry. Mother Earth is releasing her own energy for this transformation. And when he said that, I thought, well, is that something we need to be aware of in terms of the physical nature of the planet? And he says, there will be shifting and movement on the planet, but do not be in fear. It's part of the planet's evolution and transformation to hold a higher vibration for herself and for her inhabitants, so us. And I did ask him again, I'm like, here we go. Are we repeating ourselves again with the heart message? And he said, maybe, but yes, yes, but maybe. Like we are doing that, but it's the message for this time. It's the message or words to be heeded if you're looking to go through this time with greater ease. We've talked about inner exploration that's been brought in the past months. We need to go in and clean ourselves out, get rid of this negativity. Yes, those messages have been brought in the past, but really the heart itself right now is paramount at this time. We need to focus on the heart. Inner exploration and creative expression will feed the heart, but the ultimate and primal focus is on the heart, and that's what's called for at this time. And while cleansing of the negative is also needed, there's also a deep need for compassion, gentleness, and kindness for oneself as we're all feeling the effects of this shifting. So, really, a lot of self love, not just self care, self love and gentleness with ourselves. So, he says, show compassion, love, and gratitude for yourself and all that you've lived and learned, and show that same compassion, gratitude, and love for your fellow man and your fellow travelers, no matter what human placed categories of separation you may place on people. That includes religion, politics, status, and so forth. There is only love, and there is only source, of which every living creature is a part of. And then Archangel Azrael goes on to say, I do not wish to complicate this message with more information. It's plain and simple in terms of the words, but acting upon these words is the key, and it will support profound change for all of humanity. It is with love, gratitude, and serious resounding intent that I deliver these words, and that's Azrael's words. It is for your benefit and thriving in these times to come. The heart must be open and willing to accept and love oneself and your fellow man. So that's the message from Azrael today. I hope it's clear. Obviously, the heart is an issue. and we need to go inward, be gentle, tend to our heart, clean it out. Yes, do inner exploration and creative expression. All those things are important. But the heart, love, gratitude, and joy, showing that to ourselves right now and to others is really the focus and the key for this month. So let's move on to the card reading. So the question I asked for the card reading is, what are the energies associated with this current time of transition and change that we need to be aware of? And before I get to the actual cards themselves, I just want you to know, I did this reading. I pulled 4 cards and I used 3 different decks. The first 2 cards from left to right were from separate decks, and then the last 2 cards kind of just fell out of the deck that I was shuffling. And it really kind of blew me away when I pulled them because since they are from all 3 different decks, the way that the story kind of goes of these cards is it's kind of a summation of all of the messages we've been getting for the first half of 2025. So it's almost like a review, a capstone of the readings and the messages that have come through. And I thought that was really amazing. I was like, wow, I love that. So it's yes, summarizing, but also when I was pulling them, it felt like this, and especially because of the first card, which I'll get into, but the first card is Metamorphosis, which is exactly what Archangel Azrael was talking about in his message, that we're going through this change and transition. And so the message in this card reading doesn't feel like it's just about June itself. It actually feels like this is information from this card reading that we need to take into the second half of the year, the second half of 2025. So, yeah, let's just get into this message, into each of the cards here, and we'll get into that again. I'll revisit what we've learned and how we should take it forward. But the first card, Metamorphosis, obviously that's pretty straightforward. Archangel Azrael talked about this time of transition and change, or great change and shifting. And this card signals that as well. So it can also be a sign of a death or a transition, change, great change. And while it is about that, it's also about letting go of the old. And that includes the negativity, maybe it's beliefs, activities, people in your life. You're having low self-worth, and this card also wants you to know that, yes, there may be some grief and loss and discomfort in this time of change, in this time of complete transformation, metamorphosis. So if you're feeling those kinds of feelings of sadness or grief or loss, acknowledge them, feel them, acknowledge and feel them. Because when we don't acknowledge or feel them, that's when they get trapped in the body. And that's part of the work we're doing. So feel into them, feel the discomfort, feel the sadness, let it move through you. When we don't feel it, it doesn't move, and then it gets stuck. So this card says, this path of transformation is to be moved through, not bypassed, or trying to find a way around the hard lessons or realizations. Accept it, feel it, release it, and thank the experience for the lessons and valuable transformational gifts your experiences hold. So that's Metamorphosis. And then the next card is Body and Soul. And this is about being centered in yourself, and not seeing yourself as separate. And in the context of Archangel Azrael's message, it's indicating that we need to put self-care and compassion for ourselves first, at the forefront. It's about nourishing all aspects of ourselves, the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, and the spiritual body. And obviously, this is important. He's telling us our heart is important at this time during this great change that's going on, the metamorphosis. Um, and we need to just be compassionate with ourselves because we're all here for an individual purpose, even if it may not seem like it sometimes. So, how you take care of yourself and nourish yourself at this time will be really important. So, again, it's not just about fun self care, it's really about nourishing and feeding yourself at a deep level. So, in the midst of this transition and change, we have to be careful too. So, on a physical and um, spiritual level, right? So we're nourishing ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually as best we can. But at this time of transition too, there's going to be fear that may come up, or negativity, or resistance. But we just have to make sure that we always come back to our heart, and that we're not caught up in all that fear and resistance. So just remember to come back to your heart, being creative expression, the gratitude, joy, and love for yourself and for others. So we're committing ourselves to holistic self-care in mind, emotions, body, and spirit. And that will be very important in this time of change. The next card, you might not be able to read it, says water. It's the water card, and it says emotional well-being on it. So this card is about emotional well-being, intuition, imagination, and dreams. And I love that it's after the body and soul card, because water, we're caring for ourselves, nourishing ourselves, and of course, water is necessary for that. So we can take this literally in terms of needing hydration. Um, and I'm just going to put my holistic health practitioner hat on right now. Um, Water. So, not all water is the same in terms of deeply hydrating. Um, you may be drinking a lot of water, but may not feel completely hydrated. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to a document in the description box or in the posting wherever you're watching this video. Put a link to that about tips for hydration that can really help you in this time as well. So, all right, back to the card. So, water, in terms of physical nourishment, we need to be making sure that we're taking good care of ourselves, hydrating, making sure all of our cells are hydrated. And then water is also symbolic of emotionality, of our emotions, and taking care of ourselves that way too. And the dolphin on this card also reminds us to have a childlike, playful way or approach to life, to not forget to have fun. That's part of it too. So we need to this is just an extension of self-care, is what I'm hearing. Um, it's the health of our emotional well-being, as well as our deeper, intuitive, playful, and creative inner worlds, that will help carry us forward through this time of change. And that can also bring images. The water can also bring images of shifting and changing, um, ebbing and flowing. And so it's also symbolic of the changes that we're going through at this time. And just to make sure also, in terms of emotions, that we're supporting our heart. So that was kind of on point too for this reading. And then last is the signs card. It says "From Spirit with Love" on the side of that card there. This card is to let us know that the universe, God, the angels, however you see the divine, they're all here for us during this time. And you just need to stop, look around, and notice and acknowledge signs. They will send them to us. But part of that also is us being open to those signs. So be sure to ask the angels, ask God for signs, and then open your heart. Be open to noticing what happens around you. It may not come immediately, um, but you may notice something, and these signs can appear as a feeling or a sensation. Um, Hearing words of truth in your head, maybe reading a message that seems to speak directly to what you're wrestling with or something you've asked about. Maybe hearing a line in a song that just hits you in a certain way as like an answer to a question that you have. Um, it can come through nature or animals, or maybe you'll see it in repeating numbers as angel numbers that might mean something to you. So there's all sorts of ways that the divine can communicate with us and the angels. Well, what needs to happen is for us to be open to it and to be looking for it. Because sometimes we'll ask and then we'll just forget about it and be like, oh, I probably won't hear anything. But no, we can't be in that mental state. We have to have an open heart. And that's part of the heart energy that's important for this month, so that we can communicate with the divine, because that's how we communicate. The heart controls our frequency, and that's how the divine will communicate with us. So it's really important to tend to your heart. And also what I love about these last two cards, which I didn't say about the water card before, but the water card is about intuition and dreams, and that's part of our spirituality. So it kind of ties together our physical, emotional body and the spirituality, and then it moves into the signs card here, which is about communicating with the divine and being open to that. So yeah, just looking at all of these cards in terms of the reading in the past, or all of the readings in the past 6 months, it's just kind of summing it up. So we're going through this metamorphosis and change. During that time, we need to be focused on our body and soul and taking care of ourselves holistically, so mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And part of that is the water, hydrating, being very aware of our emotions, the negativity that can hide underneath in the depths of our emotions, while also being, allowing that water to cleanse us too, to wash away that negativity and to move into the depths of ourselves that holds our spirituality and our intuition and our dreams, and move into that. In terms of the signs deck, the signs card, where we're looking to the divine to help guide us and to communicate with them. And it's also, that signs card is also about our spiritual gifts, being able to use them to communicate with the divine and tap into who we really are. So it's just a beautiful reading. And like I said, what really struck me is that while it's a summary of what we've been learning, I do feel like we're supposed to be taking this lesson and this awareness, what this card reading is telling us right now, bringing that forward into the second half of the year. Like, don't just forget about it after June. I feel like this is something that's meant to be brought forward for us, and to remember, especially about our heart energy, because that's going to be the key. Our heart is the key moving forward. Being in our minds and our head is not the consciousness that the earth is trying to support any longer. Everything's shifting and changing to allow for a new and improved consciousness, a higher consciousness, a higher frequency. So that higher frequency is a heart frequency, and that's why the focus on the heart is so important at this time. So I hope this reading resonates for you and helps you in some way. Thanks so much for being here and listening to this video. I offer individual angel readings and packages as well, if you're interested in that. I'll put a link to that in the description box and wherever you're watching this. And I also offer free wellness design calls. So if you're having an issue, a chronic health issue, or you've been diagnosed with a chronic condition and you're having a really hard time with it and not finding the answers you need to help you feel better, just kind of spinning around with doctors, not able to find a clear path forward to help you find relief, please schedule a free wellness design call with me, and we can go over what's happening with you. And I hope I can demystify some of the things that are going on for you and help you find a clear path forward to better health and freedom from all the heavy symptoms and things that are exhausting you and keeping you from living the life that you want to live. I know there's a lot of shifting and changing on the planet with the energies and just a lot of stressful things going on right now. So I'm here to support you in that as well. So thank you again for being here. If you like this video, please like it or subscribe to my channel. That's really helpful for me. And again, thanks for being here, and I wish you much true wellness, light, and love. Have a great June.